You are, I think, really blessed to have like a group of people around you that's really talented. And some of them are college students that come and go, but some are like, Stephanie's brothers, who I know also are great, talented musicians and artists. How have you guys, have you taken on any of those? I think contract work sometimes sounds like it's like people who you've met for one time, but you guys have long-term contract relationships, don't you? That you've been building,
Absolutely.
cultivating. How is that going?
So, one of the things that we did maybe 4 or 5 years ago is kind of started a database of all the people that we knew and everything that they do. And so through the years now, we're able to reach back into that database and pull from some of those contract workers. And of course, as we go along, we just add more to that list, because the goal is, always to get us from doing so much of the work to building our team, and our team is doing the work and we're just managing.
Yeah, working on the business instead of in. Good. And so as you started to, it sounds to me like COVID was part of a transition to kind of a new or something where you're opening up a new vista where a lot of the kind of product work or service, but on the product side work is starting to grow. Are you seeing that? Is that starting to develop more and more? Do you see that becoming a bigger part of your business as you go along?
Yeah, absolutely. During that time, well, Stephanie's always kind of designed products, and maybe you could talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, part of graphics, there's a lot of product design in there anyway. So like t-shirts, and we've done books before where it's from cover design to actual layout. Um, just a lot of different things here and there. And so now, after COVID, I think people are starting to realize that product based businesses kind of yield a higher return than service based. So we are seeing an influx of people who are now looking into getting more products produced versus of just a video. Well, can I have a video, and what product can I have to go alongside of that?
In addition to that, we've also gotten into creating apparel and merch stores,
Mhm.
like online stores for different clients, and that has actually been really great because again, with so many years of experience within designing
Yeah.
and printing and all those things, those now come into play when people are asking for online stores. And most times people don't know how to even get those started. People, of course, you can start them online. There's tons of templates, but in order to create a successful line or successful, brand, or even the process of, of creation, and then shipping, fulfillment, all those different things, we have lots of experience in doing those. And so that for sure has become a new branch of SureThing Studios.
Too bad I'm going to call you after this. And so we're laughing. Adam and I were just saying like one more store for us. We've been hearing about brick and mortar entrepreneurs who don't know how to build their online store. So I'll be calling you because it's a huge pain point actually, because everyone's like, just sell things online. And like everyone's like, what is that? Video, film.
Mhm.
So clever, Adam. It all wraps up together.
It's
I've
great.
learned a few things over my time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love hearing about the kind of way you're already seeing things organically grow. But one thing I'd be interested in is, do you have any like longer term goals or reach areas where you'd love to be an evolution, or like, is there a 2.0 or a parallel thing that you guys have in your brain, like kind of next trajectories?
So one of the big things for us is kind of creating a legacy for our kids. So the long-term goal is to build this so that even if they don't necessarily take it on, maybe it's something that they are able to sell off and branch into whatever their path is. I think that's one of our biggest long-term goals. I don't. oh, Eventually, maybe we do like some kind of a studio, like a building itself. That's a much longer term goal.
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah, I would say also for so many years, like I said before, we were a service-based business and we still are. But Adam and I were kind of talking earlier just about how much
Can't
time
show 'em behind the
it
curtain, Tom. You can't show them. No, I was
Okay,
kidding.
I'm sorry. So it basically just how it is really tough to sustain a service-based business if you want to like scale your business. And so you have to, if you want to stay service-based, you have to include products. And I just look back and just like, man, we have traded so much time for money and it is ridiculous. And it doesn't even add up. Like and so that's one of the things that we really want to move into. So again, products, we're looking into creating writing books and creating courses, just teaching, again, 43 years of experience combined. We have a lot that we want to share, a lot that we want to get out and pass on to the next generations. And I believe a lot of it will be really helpful, even on, like Stephanie was saying earlier, doing larger scale projects for for less budgets or smaller budgets. It is doable, and then a lot of times people just don't know how to achieve those things. So again, product based, courses online, just utilizing AI. There's a lot of different things that we want to do a lot more, even in the very near future.
Yeah, and the difference between exactly like I was talking about, we've seen so many people and so many people have ambitions to do things online and just don't know how. And the things you don't know that you know are the picks and shovels that you sell them, that takes, you don't have to do it individually. You can put it into a system or however you put it together, make it available to them, and it's useful to them. It has a value attached to it, and it's useful to you, obviously, as a revenue source. You don't have to tend. You have to tend the garden, but you don't have to tend it every day.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's huge value in that. I'm interested, Stephanie, in something you said. You talked about wanting to, be able to pass this on to your kids, but maybe even if they don't want to do it, something they could sell off. How are you thinking about that? One, like maybe as the business owner yourself now, how would you, or are you thinking about preparing the business for that potential? Like your kids say, we don't want to run SureThing Studios, but it's an asset. And, we want to make it available to us as, by being sold, and we take advantage of the profits. Like, how are you thinking about that right now? Or how are you preparing for that, I guess?
I mean, part of it is just making sure like the inner workings of our business are solid, so that when they come in or decide to sell it off, like it's a smooth transition and they're not coming in. It's like, oh man, you guys didn't handle your books well, or this is not organized. It's not an easy just pick up and play situation. So a lot of what we're doing now is trying to set it up to pass on, and not hold on to ourselves, because I mean, if we hold on, we're not going to grow and they're not going to grow. So that's kind of the biggest thing right now. And even in preparing them, like we bring them on into shoots and just kind of getting them used to what we do. So maybe they decide, well, this is not really something that I want, but I'm learning the business side of all of this so I can take this in other spaces of my life.
Yeah. Another thing that we're doing is also creating or having conversations with our kids about, being entrepreneurs. And so we don't necessarily say it that way, but we say, hey, what are some stuff that, or some things that you want to do? What are some businesses that you might want to start? Or what are some, ways that you want to start making money? And, the ideas that they come up with are just incredible. But we definitely want to create that type of environment for them, just to normalize, you can take control of what your future looks like, by starting a business, or something that is helpful not just to yourself but to the community around you.
What's some like uh lessons you'd love to leave, or like something you did maybe that you learned, like, oh, maybe if I could go back and do it differently? Just any advice you have for people who are like, I'm going to start my own production products, concert 6 camera studio. Anything you'd like to tell anyone listening who's like weighing these kind of moves?
A couple things. I would say to just do it. Like there's never going to be a perfect situation. You're not going to always have all of the pieces. Just start. And then the other thing that I wish we had have done earlier on is we had a lot of people that offered help, and we were like, oh no, we got it. We didn't got it. We needed the help. So if you have people in and around you who are, even if they're not experts in the field, if they're willing to jump in and maybe they answer phone calls for you or they set up appointments for you, take the help.
Yeah. In addition to all those things, there's really good things. I would say just the consistency, creating some. So what I didn't realize is we have been very diligent in making sure, okay, if we have a project, we lock in on that project and we get it done. And a lot of people, I didn't realize this, but a lot of people cannot work from home, and it's really tough for them, and it like they just can't stay focused, and so that's something that we've done for years, even before pandemic hit. And so that's why we were able to, through that time, one of the reasons why we were able to still thrive during that time. And so I would just say, be consistent in whatever it is that you set your mind to, and also think about what you do in iterations. So the first version is not always going to be the best, but just always, try to get better and better as time goes on. And then that way you can, be the best version of yourself as you look down the road.
I think that's super important. Yeah, that's one thing I tell my kids. I swear I tell them every day. Like you should be thinking this is too early and you should still be launching all the time, everything.
Yes.
Try things every day that make you slightly uncomfortable and are pushing your edges. That's good. That's great stuff. Something I know we're getting close to the time where I know you guys need to go, but I wanted to ask one thing, which I think is really unique. And I've always thought it was unique. You guys are a married couple and you've been in business together the whole of your marriage, essentially. So, what kind of challenges has that presented? I'm sure there's been some challenges, but also, are there any advantages? Have you found you guys are business meetings can go all the way through dinner and past, and you're getting more done. Like, is there an upside as well? Because I'm sure there's been some challenges, but there might be an upside. I'd love to hear you guys talk about that a little bit.
So yes, business meetings can go forever. That is something that we have actually worked really hard to not do. Even though we work from home, there is a time where we're working and then there's a time when we're not, and we're not talking about the business. We're not talking about the next project or the next client or whatever it is. Like you have to be able to shut things off at a point so that you can cultivate your marriage and be a married couple and not just business partners. An advantage is that like we know each other well, and so there's no like, oh, is there a hidden agenda here with whatever is being done. We can be very confident in that we're both on the same team working towards the same goals. That's been really beneficial. And again, like we know each other's personalities. So I know when he's stressed, like, hey, maybe we need to bring in some contract workers for more help with these projects. And the same thing, he knows when I'm stressed, like, hey, it might be time to close the computer and let's pick this up again tomorrow. So that's always been helpful on the mental health side. And
Yeah, I mean, I would also say, yeah, there's been a lot of times where we just have a good understanding of, Stephanie takes care of graphics, of website, web design, of recently building like interior design, things like that. And a lot of the organizational, things that really keep creative people, in line. And so like she's amazing at those things. And then for me, you know, the video side, the music side, the big picture side. And so we kind of understand each other's lanes, and you know, it really helps that we, for the most part, really stay in those. But we also invite each other in every now and again. Like she'll say, "Hey, what do you think about this design?" Because I have a little bit of design experience as well. So she'll say, "What do you think about this? Is this good? Is that good?" And then I'll more than likely like go overboard and give her way too many notes, and then that's when it's like, okay, being her, like I can tell being married is like, okay, I didn't really want that much input, you know, but whatever. So like that's been good. What else? Oh, also I think like stepping outside of business, um so we've been married, again, we've been married for 13 years, the business for 12 years, and to be able to look back and be like, wow, we actually built this together. You know, we've actually gotten a chance to touch a lot of different lives and communities. I mean, we've done everything from, again, from artists to churches to um, uh, an ADHD documentary. We've done just a lot of different things that we've kind of covered. And I think different circles of people who we've been able to impact. And so to say that we've done that together is, I think, is really huge for our story.
I love that. And, you know, there really is a difference between, I know there's challenges, but there's a difference between people you can be in business with and then people you're partners with, you know, and having the ability to sort of trust the approach of another person is a huge gift. I mean, it's one of the reasons, frankly, why I like working with UL, because she's super smart, but I've met a lot of smart people in my life, but people I feel like I can trust with an approach to a problem are rare, and that's special. So like I love to hear you guys talk about that, and it's great that it hasn't, you know, it hasn't overwhelmed the marriage part too, because you guys seem to be lovingly married, which is great.
Yeah. Now I will say this: there have been times when we've gotten to like really big arguments, and then we've had to figure out how, okay, you're not just a random person that we can say, all right, bye, leave my business, we're done. You know, we can't do that, you know. And so that's also during those trying times, like it's kind of like created a tighter knit relationship for us, for our family, for our marriage. So
Well, thank you. That, I mean, I love that you're partners in every sense of the world. And you know, I am also very excited because I don't think you understand how many people are struggling with this problem of a online store. Like, I'm like, I hope they're ready because you actually, I mean, what's amazing is like what you guys are finding, you're helping unlock other people, like other people's dreams, right? With your work. You don't know how many people, like literally this is transformation for me, because it's been like, oh, I just need to get someone a website. And I was like, oh no, there's people that design these online stores. Like, you know, you don't even know something's a option.
yeah.
Now I do.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It's such a it's weird because online stores they're not like new, but the idea and concept of just, you know, having access to creating a well, you know, designed a good store. And then we also talk through strategy of, okay, well, if you're going to do these pieces to sell, you should think about, you know, there's lots of different aspects that come with it that create a successful store or not. And so, yeah, like you said, most people don't know that there are people who create stores, and we're SureThing, so we do it.
Love it, guys. Thank you guys so much for spending the time and sharing with us. You, Tom and Stephanie, you guys are the best. Appreciate you. SureThing Studios. We're going to be putting links at the bottom that, again, Tom, you will laugh at because you are much better at this than I am.
Don't. Yeah.
I probably
Well,
should.
you just wait. We're gonna work out some like referral system where he does the like.
There we go. Actually,
tagline on the bottom.
There you go.
Let's work.
So this will be the
Some
last
trades.
bad video, is what we're saying.
Well, so then we're gonna go into the neighborhood, and like you're gonna go in the store, and there's gonna be like a donut, and it's gonna have like blurred in the back. Anyway, that's the next move.
It's next level. We're doing
Then the
this.
TV show, Adam.
It's happening. It's happening.
Yes.
It really is happening.
Good.
No, thank you guys so much. And I mean, obviously, congrats on what you've built already. And I'm excited to see what the future holds. Very cool stuff. Thank you.
Thanks so much
Thank
for
you guys
having
for
us.
having us.